Hello, everybody, and welcome to this again. This is the Intro to Orchestration class. One of the classes that I did earlier this morning was also this one. So now we are live and we are doing orchestration. So let's see what we've got. I'm making sure that we could hear sound, so that sound is doable. Oh, go to share screen and then it'll actually also share sound. So orchestration. So we are orchestration, the art of for chamber or symphony orchestra. That's the you can also have this as a definition, the study of the instruments. The study of the different instruments of the orchestra and how to write for them. So you have those definitions. So go ahead and feel free to copy those down. And for those of you on here, let's go on here and let's see. Can I move this down? There we go. Oh, Zoom whiteboard. There you go. That's what we want. This is the definition of the orchestration that we're looking for, okay? So take these down. And if you guys actually download the PDF that I sent on orchestration, you would see some of the different stuff that I had written down. We could also review and go over some of that in this class. And we're also going to do some scoring. We're also going to take a look and do some scoring chords for the orchestra and see how we can do that effectively. Okay. So orchestration. Let's go ahead and get rid of the definition and let's move to the next window here. And here we go. Orchestration. So we'll be talking about their different orchestral instruments and their ranges. And first thing we need to talk about is orchestral color, and that is very important. It gives life, emotional nuances, and more to a piece of music for symphony orchestra. Different instruments give off different colors, which are useful in different sections of a piece of music as well. For instance, there are lighter colors, flutes, clarinets, violins, darker colors, French horns, trombones, tubas, double basses, cellos, low piano, or in their middle sort of colors that have a little bit of muddiness, but they're not quite deep, deep colors. And those are violas, mid-range piano, also French horn, mid-range trumpet, and maybe mid-range clarinet. Okay, so first one that we want to take a look at is we want to actually take a look at flute here. So I'm going to go ahead and just swap my screen out here. So stop share. All right. So I'm going to actually go and tell you the ranges of instruments here. And that can actually be a big help to you. Okay, so range of, what are we going to do? Range of the flute. And then we're also going to look at the piccolo first. Okay, so piccolo range. So first, let's do it because it's the topmost instrument at the top. So let's do that one. The piccolo basically is a half-size flute. So it's the top member of the woodwind family, the topmost woodwind. And it's usually piccolo or the flute number 3 in an orchestral setting. So the ranges for the flute sounds 1 octave higher than written. So written range would be treble clef D above middle C, all the way to way above all the way to a really high C that's like 5 ledger lines up off the treble clef staff, and sometimes to the A that's even higher than that. And then sounding, you've got it even higher. You've got it an octave higher than that. You've got it starting on the D on the 4th line of the treble clef sounding, followed by the D that is an octave higher than what we just did in the written. So it's really, really high up there. Okay, so that's the piccolo's range. So it has a very whistle-like range. You're not going to hear a lot of stuff in the lower range of the piccolo because it's made to go high. Smaller instruments are made to go higher. Lower instruments or bigger instruments, longer instruments are made to go lower. So there you go. All right, so let's do flutes. So flute is from C all the way up to 1, 2, 3 ledger lines above the treble staff and a space above. And that's 8 VA above that. So let's do flute. That's actually around Piccolo Range. The other flutes end about at a C that is an octave higher than soprano C. So we're talking a C above the C that's 2 ledger lines above the treble staff. That's where the flute could end at the absolute highest. So that's where we are. Okay, and so the next one we're going to talk about is the range of the B flat clarinet. And it is the middle-sized clarinet. The range is from D3, lower than the treble clef, to B flat number 6. So what they're talking about is D, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines below the treble clef staff. So we're talking about bass clef D all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ledger lines with a flat. So we're talking about that. And they typically have different registers. So let's play some of those. That's the Chalumeau register. Here's the middle register of this. And then let's hear the upper register. And typically we don't want the highest register because that's only used in very, very extremely high circumstances. But we normally use this middle register here and the 2 upper registers. Okay. So, and this lower register is more chunky, more tonal. So it's got more chunky tone to it. And this still has that a little bit of chunky tone left in the middle. But it's starting to get more trebly as we go along. Okay? Good. All right. Let's talk about the next one. Actually, the first one we need to talk about again next will be E flat clarinet. And that's the little tiny baby clarinet. So let's do that, shall we? So E flat clarinet, this is the very, very tiniest of them all. And it's usually usually in what's called the trumpet or clarinet category, which means it goes to the closest third. So what that means would be it goes to whatever interval is closest to it. And for example, if you play an A, it'll sound like C. So that's one example. And then again, if you play C, it'll sound like E because it goes up a third when you play it. So it's a transposition of a third. A transposition of a minor third, rather. So you have to retain that. You have to keep that in mind. All right. So let's do the range of this E flat clarinet, which is okay. We have 3 ledger lines and a space below treble clef. So that would be what? That would be C, A, F, and then low E, bass clef E, to an octave above soprano C. That's the written range for this clarinet. Okay, remember these sound a third higher than they're written. Okay, next. A clarinet. So what are the tonal characteristics and the range of the A clarinet? Or you should say clarinet in A. In A. All right, let's go to let's do clarinet in A. So the normal for soprano clarinet is the B flat clarinet. Those are the, in other words, the normal clarinet. A clarinet. The A clarinet sounds a semitone lower than the B flat clarinet. In practical terms, this means that there are or there is a C, there's a C in the notes. When there's a C in the notes, you use the fingering for a C. And we hear an A. With the B flat clarinet, we would hear a B flat. Okay, so that would be below because it's bigger and tubing. The notes for clarinets are already transposed for the correct instrument. In pieces with many flat accidentals, The B flat clarinet has two fewer Bs than a, or two fewer Bs or flats than a flute. And in the pieces with many sharps, an A clarinet has three fewer sharps when used. This means that in pieces with B flat keys, the B flat clarinet is the better choice. And in lots of pieces with the sharp, the A clarinet is the better choice because you're reading in the key of A major. That's the reason why. Okay. So this is what's also called the basset clarinet, basset horn, basset clarinet. That's also a form of the A. So let's try to see what the range of this clarinet is, shall we? Tonal range. So tonal range of that is E3 to C7. E3 to C7. Okay, let's go to bass clarinet. Bass clarinet in B flat can be read in either treble or bass clef and starts written on E flat C or E flat 3 to G6, and it sounds a major ninth lower, whole step lower when written in bass clef. Treble clef in B flat transposition is performed modern notation. So, and then we have bassoon bass clef. You could also have it the range go up into the tenor range, and then they use a movable C clef for that. So B flat 1, which is the first B flat on piano, to E flat 5. So you're going from way down below to E flat 5, which would be the E flat above C5, which would be an octave above middle C. Okay. And it's an octave. Actually, it's not. Contrabassoon of sousaphone. This is sounds one octave lower. It's an octave transposer. It goes from B flat number 3 to G6. Actually, B flat number 1 to B flat 4. Saxophones are B flat 3 to G6. Okay, so now we have the brass. Horn and F sharp number 2, second F sharp on the piano, to the 6th C on piano. And then we have the tubas. B flat tuba is the 3rd C on piano to the 5th G on piano. And then F tuba is the 2nd F to the 5th D on the piano. So quite a bit of a range there. Trumpets. So trumpets would have the tonal range of the 3rd F sharp on the piano, so find that. And they go all the way up to 6th D on the piano. So the trumpet in C sounds as written. Trumpet in B flat, a whole step lower it sounds. Trumpet in A sounds a minor third lower because as close as it goes lower than higher. The trumpet in G sounds a perfect fifth higher than written. Trumpet in F sounds a perfect fourth higher than written. Trumpet in E is a major third higher than written. A trumpet in E flat, minor third higher because it's smaller. And D, trumpet in D is in fact lower, is in fact a little bit lower than the E flat trumpet, but still higher than C. So it's a whole step higher than the key of C. Piccolo trumpet in B flat would be a minor seventh higher, and the A piccolo trumpet would be a major sixth higher. And the range of those go from the third F sharp on the piano to the fifth G. So really quick, I showed the other orchestration class this morning at the 10 a.m. one, and I will show this now. And so what I did do is I did do this. I went and said, okay, what if we take, I'm going to go ahead and create a new score. And this may not be the exact correct instrumentation, so don't fault me on it. We're in C major here. So let's say if we were to do this, I'm going to actually put this up for people to see right here. Let's do, all right, so here we go. Let's say we're doing all of the, did I even bring, oh, yeah, I did. All right, so let's say we're going to do this. We got our orchestral sample, and I'm just making sure we're all plugged in here. All right. Now we're going to add some notes in. All right, so let's say we have, a chord. Like if we wanted to do something with strings, let's say we have a harp. I'm just going to put it in, oop. I'm just going to do, so there's our chord. right? So if we're going to want this to be in like in various instruments of the orchestra, what we have to do is do this. We have to go take this, copy it to the instrument that we want to start on, where we want to start the copying. Copy paste. Then take these two, do the same thing. And copy paste there. And then let's go ahead and do this. So tools, this may work a little janky and it may not, but let's distribute it or explode it onto different staves. Let's see what happens. Okay. It usually gives you one staff per note. And then you could just complete out the chord by going C like that. Let's do another one. Okay, let's do that chord. Take this all here and go like this. What if we want to, just going to take one of them, oops, one of the chords, and click it here. Go to tools. And let's say we want to take this one here. Where else do we want to put it? You could either put it here, or we can do tools again and that. Or we can just, after we explode it, we can go like this. Like that. We can always transpose it down. Okay, play it back. And let's actually work on put dots up here. And then ba ba. Go like this. Half step down. D. Six dot. You can have a little bit of crunchy dissonance there. Or we can have it go like boom, boom. Hey G. So you can have those kinds of things. If you have, you could also drag this chord. Let's drag these chords up. You're going to drag these chords up here and take it to your flute. Drag them down there. Whoa. Holy crap. And I lost my page. So don't save. We're not going to save that because it completely went to crap. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to show you all how this will actually work. Okay, so here's the sample I did earlier. We're just going to use this. Let's say we have that same chord. Do it again. Even if you don't have a harp, you can always start it. Do, da. then ba ba. B flat. All right, so here we go. Here's our cluster of chords here. And let's see what we can do with this. So that's how I had the score put up. So that's how I orchestrate chords, and that's how those things go. So I will be doing more as the time comes on. Please feel free to come on and have comments or come to the next live stream or class that is an orchestration class or a composition class that I'll have on. And if there are no more questions, I will see you in the next one.